Opening night in the NFL. Dallas at Philly. Predictions, picks, player props, same game parlays. Everything is on the table in this episode. And in case you lose your bets on opening night, I got a chance for you to recoup $250. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, Mayo Media Network, and smash like and give me your score prediction for Dallas Philly in the comment section, and you are in a draw for $250. If you want to get more ballots in that draw, head on over to Apple or Spotify or both. Subscribe, rate, and review 5 stars for the Pat Mayo experience, and you get even more ballots in that draw. All right? I got some bonuses. I got some picks. Hopefully they win. Let's go.
You're entering the Pat Mayo experience.
Pat Mayo experience. Pat Mayo experience. Pat Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo experience presented by Underdog. The first game of the NFL season is here. Thursday night, it is Dallas at the Eagles. Is 8.5 right now. Ryan Noonan from BetsBirds.com and 4for4.com is joining me on the line to break this all down. Noonan, make your pick. Who's going to win what score?
Eagles by a lot.
How a lot?
Cover.
Okay, so more than 8.5.
Yeah. No, I just don't see a scenario where this Dallas defense keeps it close. I think there's some possible regression and opportunities on the Eagles, especially the defensive side. Like, I think there's a perception coming into this. This is like the same unit that won the Super Bowl. I think they're going to be really good. I don't want to pretend that this is not like a top 10 defense, but they're like calling on some of the depth pieces from years past now be like anchor pieces of it. They actually have some questions, I think, on the perimeter at corner. So it kind of sets up well, actually, for what Dallas is probably going to be forced to do here and all year is to kind of chuck and lean on Dak, lean on Pickens, lean on CeeDee Lamb. So, I would say, hey, kind of like the squarest opportunity for a week 1 island game. Let's take the favorite in the over, Pat.
Favorite in the over. So you get -8 in the over of 47.5. You can get all these bets at coolbet.com right now. If you're in Canada outside of Ontario, you can get into Coolbet, hit the description, get yourself a deposit bonus while you're down there. But here's what I wanted to ask you. Mainly, I'm going to give my prediction here in a second. I'll talk through how Dallas could actually win. We're together with 4for4.com running a giant survivor pool. And you can rebuy into it after the first 2 games. It doesn't actually lock until Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So if you let the first 2 games go by and you're like, oh, crap, I need to be in the survivor pool Friday, Saturday, Sunday until the games kick off, you still have a chance to get in it. It's at Splash Sports. It's $50 per entry. You can have multiple entries. There's $500,000 to the winner. You get the link down in the description right now. My question to you is, I have 5 entries in, Noonan. I just put all 5 of the entries on the Eagles because if I lose, I'll just rebuy.
It's not a bad strategy. Connor and I were talking about that strategy today too, because there feels like a couple of fairly chalky picks. We were both talking, like, at first glance, we didn't really consider the Eagles, but actually now that you made the case that there is the Sunday buy and rebuy in if things go poorly on Thursday night, that is a nice opportunity, right? So you could be in the clear. It doesn't matter what happens on Sunday. You got one in the bag on Thursday, but just $50. Like, I'm trying to decide how many to get into. Right now I just have the 1, but I'm probably thinking at least 3 to 5. That's actually probably a pretty good strategy, right? Take the Eagles. I would love to hear your case. This is kind of you by nature. There's a little bit of contrarian in you. So I'm interested to hear. Yeah, I'm interested to hear your Dallas case because I think Philadelphia is, a pretty solid side here.
It's not so much that I think that Dallas is going to win the game. I think that there's a definite possibility with. I think Dallas's offense, especially passing attack, is going to be very good. That no matter how many points the Eagles get up by, at some point they're going to shut this down. But Dallas isn't shutting it down. Dak might throw for 450 in this game and lose by 6.
I'm not a big trends better. I know that that's definitely something that like people like have their bread and butter and like historical trends. And I don't think you can really get a case for me that's not just like super noisy. But if you were to like be a trends guy, especially early in the season, I think there is a case to be made by just taking divisional dogs. And that would be your case here, right? Especially divisional dogs at more than a touchdown. And that's what we have here. Even though we went from 7.5, we're kind of floating up, as you said, 8 at Coolbet, 8.5s are out there in some spots too. So I get that would be the case too, is taking Dallas with the points. But a Dallas outright winner, the scenario that you're talking about to me that makes me a lot more comfortable is just being bullish on Dallas's passing offense and having them cook. That just to me screams over, right? Because there's not a scenario on the other side where you're getting any pushback from the Dallas defense slowing down Philadelphia. So if we do see kind of just they hit the ground running offensively from the Dallas side, we're cruising over 47.5.
I was thinking from a survivor scenario. So right now there's huge overlay in this survivor contest. So you don't have to beat 25,000 people right now in order to win that 500 grand. So get yourself in it. But let's say I played 5 teams. Maybe I do 3 Eagles, 2 Dallas. Because if Dallas wins, I know a lot of people are just simply going to take the Eagles because it's the first game. You can just box a bunch of people out.
Yeah, that's, I think, a good general discussion that I think we see on bigger scales for some of like the other big survivor tournaments is how much is to be gained leverage-wise by being kind of a contrarian, especially early in the season. We're like, look, last year, if we were doing this show, we were like, all right, so we're locking in Cincinnati, right? They're hosting the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett's just a disaster. So like, we started thinking about how can we be, different if you have multiple entries, but you're locking in primarily the Bengals, right? And then they don't win. Then you're in a scenario where like, you're hoping that there's a buy-in, and then in case you're already kind of dead because that was a Sunday morning game. So, I think that there's something to be said for going all in on Philadelphia. I don't think early enough I don't think there's enough leverage to be gained in week 1 by getting cute. And it feels to me Dallas and Survivor in week 1 is a little cute.
It's way too cute. And I think I'm just going to go for all 5 entries on the Eagles. But I was trying to think it through. And normally going contrarian in a Survivor play, I usually think it's a pretty terrible idea. Just pick the team that's going to win going through.
Correct.
But because you can rebuy into it, as long as you don't care about wasting the money, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think it's easier later in the season when you get down to a smaller pool. Even in this, we're probably going to, it's going to be harder for you to be able to really understand like where your peers are and stuff. Like, you have that in the one and done too. It's like, well, how cute do I want to be when I think this guy's going to win a golf tournament? I got to go off the board later in the year. It matters, right? There's way more leverage when you're right and you're kind of going against the grain. Week 1, not for me, but I think the Eagles smart. 5 Eagles. If you miss, be damned, get back in for 5 more. And then, we can discuss if we want to go Broncos or do you want to take a road team like Chiefs, the Cardinals or something like that? Chiefs, sure.
Chiefs, and then if it loses, run it back again.
Yeah. You might be onto something here. You might be thinking about some Chiefs and Eagles entries here.
So my prediction for the game is 38-24 for the Eagles. I do think that the Eagles end up covering, but I do envision a scenario where Dallas just goes backdoor cover and the Eagles have phoned it in, packed in their starters, and Dallas is still going full bore. And then basically what we saw in the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, Kansas City didn't get back to that number, but Dallas could. It's still 8.5, like you said, in some spots.
Well, all I hear, though, is you telling me a total that matches my brain of 47.5 being way too short in this spot. I think we see pace, I think points.
But it's still only 47.5. We haven't seen a ton of movement in this number over the past 14 days. Like this seems to be, it's the same on each side. It's minus 109 right now at Cool Bet. Let's just bring it up. See what's up here. Yeah. So you get minus 109 on both sides right now. It's not like they're taking huge juice on the over.
No, I think we see, it's obviously a public side, like you said, calling ourselves out as squares here. You think you start to see some action coming in on Thursday. It will be on probably the popular team. You're defending Super Bowl champs against a team that just traded away their best player for 30 cents on the dollar against, and then just ring ceremony. Like, even if you didn't really bet, right? You're watching this, you just pre-game ceremony, like, oh man, the Eagles are going to boat race them tonight. Got to get in. I think you start to see that number, kind of move a little bit. And then 47, 48 are both kind of key numbers in the NFL on the side of totals. I do think where you're kind of clicking around here, let's just start shopping around on some of the alts, like 50.5, right? Where 51 is kind of the next key number. Where you start to really kind of bank in on, if we think this starts to get into a little bit of a back and forth scenario, well, let's really cash in on it. Let's get a plus in front of that.
Worth noting, if you go over here to the left side of the screen, you get the PME boost. You can get the Rams under 9.5 wins at plus 150, or the Browns over 5.5 wins at plus 550. Do you like either of those? Because I feel like you don't.
The Browns one, Connor and I joked about it today on the show. Like, I just haven't heard any positive Brown sentiments except when I do shows with you. I feel like you are you are carrying the water for the greater Cleveland area here. The Rams one I like. I think the Rams one makes a lot of sense. I think there's a lot of outs naturally outside of your 38-year-old quarterback who's getting epidural shots, and your best playmaker leaves the game questionable because he fell on the football like 3 times a year. Like there's scenarios where the Rams just kind of don't take a next step, have a good season. They're 9-8, but they're under. So your plus 150 there, I definitely think is a good play.
Let's take a look at some of the props in this game, especially using the Sharp Stack tool. If you go to 4for4.com/Mayo right now, you can get 25% off the Sharp Stack tool, and you'll get the first week free. So if you don't like it, if it's a big loser for you after 7 days, Noonan, you can just cancel. No big deal. And you don't get charged. Am I correct on saying that? Because I've been saying that, and I don't want to feel like I'm wrong there.
You are correct on saying that. Here's the thing, though, Pat. We've been playing around with this for months. It's just WNBA, MLB. Today, it is popping with NFL stuff. And I can't even, it's so much better than I thought it was going to be. There are so many opportunities. Like we're trying to decide, like I'm trying to figure out like, how am I going to allocate units? Because I just think my natural play volume is going to increase off of things that I'm originating and then Sharp Stack. So I'm trying to figure out like, do I want to really manage unit sizes differently and start to really like play micro units and stake it that way? Like, cause there's so many good plays in there on the NFL side here early in week 1. I'm really excited for what this is going to look like this season.
Unfortunately, when we take a look at it, there's not a whole lot of positive EV remaining from this game.
Yeah.
The best we had on the go, there was a Javonte Williams prop under 10.5 rushing attempts for most of the week, but that number got beaten to oblivion. It opened at plus 110. I believe it's minus 130 now because everyone ended up going on it. Taking a quick scroll here, like the best one I can find is like Dak Prescott under 246 passing yards.
Yeah, and that's going to happen, and that's all right, though. This is like you can do your own work, what you would normally do on the prop betting side, and run it up against this to see if there's anything there. We just launched, if you click on the projection side, that's a new tab today. It's just market derived projections from the props. So it's easier to see it through the EV side. But again, if you're just looking to make fantasy decisions or just another comparison to see based off of what's the market deriving these projections at, this is new. Again, we're kind of slow. We'll have touchdowns. We'll have everything else in there too. We just kind of came out today with the rushing yards and receiving yard stuff. So pretty excited to another edition here.
Well, if you go to Underdog right now, code Mayo at Underdog will get you a triple bonus. It gets you, if you play $5 in a pick'em entry, you'll get a $50 just bonus in your account. Win or lose, just get $50. So might as well do that with code Mayo. A deposit bonus of up to $1,000, and there's a free pick for Saquon Barkley if you knew. And actually, I think even if you're a regular customer, if you just go on the app, you can find it in there right now. It's not on the desktop for whatever reason. 101.5 rushing yards, Noonan, is what the projection is for Saquon Barkley right now. You just need him to get over 0.5 rushing yards and you win.
You can see all this coming so clearly on Thursday night. We're coming off of what we saw with Belichick and Carolina and all the memeable content that came out of that, right? Like, and maybe lucky for Jerry Jones, maybe unlucky for Jerry Jones that he doesn't have a 24-year-old girlfriend. It depends on the context of the discussion. He probably would rather have a 24-year-old girlfriend. She won't get memed tomorrow night like Belichick's girl did. But when Saquon is pounding it down their throats, the memeability of all the Jerry stop the run stuff and Kenny Clark, like this is not 2018 Kenny Clark that you pulled off of the Green Bay roster that you're trying to sell a bill of goods to your fan base. They're going to still be able to run. And you really made a trade, again, 30 cents of the dollar for your best player to be able to stop the run. And you're going to get fed by Barkley and the tush push on Thursday night in a very public way. It's going to be fascinating to see.
Do you like Hurts' first TD in the game?
Yeah, Hurts TD stuff is fantastic. What's the price?
I can't find the first TD. I believe anytime touchdown is minus 130, which is still pretty good.
Yeah.
First
it's crazy, but it's so good. It's just his... Yeah, it's nuts.
I think first touchdown is like plus 300. I think Barkley might actually be ahead of him in the market, which he shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't be. I mean, that's the built-in regression case for Barkley is, he scored a lot from, he was actually pretty inefficient from inside the 5. And for a guy that had so many chances on that team, he probably had more touchdowns than you would expect moving forward. But yeah, I mean, the Hurt stuff is insane. It's just such a weapon for them. And yeah, I mean, minus 130 on any touchdown bet is something that is just not a way that I typically like to get down, but Hurts in this spot feels like a great look.
Yeah, 4-1 is the Jalen Hurts first touchdown. I was also going to say you could probably play, if you want to take the Eagles spread or an alt spread, take like Eagles minus 13.5 and Will Shipley last touchdown.
Yeah.
If you parlay that together, it's like 100-1.
Yeah, always like those. Those are fun. It gives you, this game gets absolutely out of hand. You still have some of the sweat here, 3.5 hours in.
So let's build an underdog entry specifically for this first one. I know how much we like overs. I'll bring up the Sharp Stack tool. There's actually a Pick'em tab on here. So we can do underdog. We don't need to do baseball. You get every sport with this, by the way. Like if you get the Sharp Stack app, it'll be, as you can see right now, there's NFL, college football, WNBA, and MLB. I'm guessing we're going to have some NBA and NHL in there pretty soon as well.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to go to this game in particular. Let's sort by, J.K. Dobbins, longest reception, under 7.5. They're all here. Let's try to find it. Let's see, Hurts. No, that didn't work. Is there an easy way to sort these or no?
There isn't the odd screen, but this is probably a good use case. We should probably get game by game selection on these book and EV tools too, so we can just kind of hone in that way.
All right, so we can just go down the list here and just try to find people from this game in terms of overall winning percentage. Jalen Hurts, interceptions thrown under 0.5 is a 62% winner. So there's so many markets for these guys anyway that, you can see it all up here on the screen. I was thinking lower rush attempts, but you're playing juice on that. You're paying juice on a lot. I guess these have been beaten to place for the past 4 months now.
Yeah, that's the tough part with week one stuff. I mean, the sides and totals have been out there since May. Props come early, especially on the Island game on the Thursday nighter. So they're definitely more mature markets than we're going to see week by week.
If you don't take the free pick on Barkley and you just want to get in, I think the lower on receiving yards rates out really well. It's under 2.5 receptions, 63.6. You just have to hope that on one of these receptions, he doesn't break one, because the lower of the 2.5 is 0.77. So, I mean, that's not a great number. I would go lower than 13.5 receiving yards, though.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes too, take the layups when they're in there too. But again, it depends on your style of how you're building slips and what your risk tolerance is for some of these things. I can see lots of scenarios where Saquon's not heavily involved in the passing game here, so I like the angle for sure.
Well, especially if we think, listen, if you think that this ends up Dallas keeping the game competitive, I could see more receptions funneling to Barkley if that was the case. But if we think that they're going to wax them, which the spread is indicating, why are they throwing to Saquon Barkley?
That's a good point. Hey, let's look. Do we have tackles and assists in this one, Pat?
Let's see. Let's go down here. Do we have? I mean, you're the king. People don't know this, so maybe they've watched the show long enough that they do know that you are the king of the tackle props. When do you generally release all of your tackle props? Does that come on Friday? When do they usually get released? I'm not big in the market. It's after most of the props, isn't it?
Yeah, they're a little slower. So this week too, in particular, we've been pretty slow. So there's a couple of books out, not necessarily some of the bigger ones. So we're waiting on some releases. Anytime, as from a 4for4 betting subscriber standpoint, we want to make sure that we have multiple outs for people to get down on. No fun if we're just hammering openers on soft books that no one has any real liquidity on. So we want to make sure there are multiple outs, including some of the ones that do take on average more than others. So it's definitely typically Wednesday, basically starting on Wednesday. I will have my typical projections are done by Tuesday afternoon. But yeah, Wednesday we'll start some of the releases when more books come to market. Friday we'll do some in the afternoon. Then sometimes even Sunday morning we'll start to see books increased last year where they felt a little bit more comfortable increasing the number of players that they would put out. So we had more Sunday morning releases than normal on the tackle and assist side. So yeah, I cannot wait. Absolutely been grinding it all year. I can tell you about, nickel corners on, any team in the league. We're grinding this pretty hard to find any edge that we can. So there is a player right now that's released on a couple of the books that do have tackles out. I was curious if he was available on Underdog. That is basically lined as if he's starting, and his number would be probably pretty aggressive anyway if he were starting, but I do not think this player is getting anywhere near to full snap rate. So great under opportunity, but I just want to see if he was out there on the Underdog side.
Is it Kenneth Murray?
It's Kenneth Murray.
Kenneth Murray on Underdog right now is 8.5 tackles and assists.
Yeah, so I think very generously, if I put Kenneth Murray to play every snap in this game, I can't get him to 7.5.
Lower
No,
it is.
again, yeah, I have him basically ungenerous. I feel like 85% of the snaps here. It very much could be less than that. He would have to run real hot to get there.
We can drop it to 7.5 and go lower and actually get like a boosted payout on that.
Yeah, I like that quite a bit. Again, this feels like a nightmare scenario because you have a team like Philadelphia who runs a ton of plays with pace, and runs that creates more tackle opportunities, right? So it's not just the play volume, it's the number of tackle opportunities born off of the play volume, but because, they throw, just high percentage plays, passes, and then run a ton of, the running backs a ton and their quarterback, they just create more tackle opportunities. So even a player like Walker, who can be projected low, can stumble into a bunch of tackles, but still I have to stretch very generously for him to have kind of an all-time game for him to get there. And again, there's a scenario here where he plays 40-50% of the snaps.
And that's Kenneth Murray.
For over a century, Johnnie Walker has shared its bold spirit with the game of golf. Now, crafted with Devereux Golf, Johnnie Walker introduces the Johnnie Walker Blue Label-inspired Sunday Golf Bag, elevating the game with sleek design, Blue Label hues, and refined gold accents. Celebrate your hole-in-one with a premium Sunday bag crafted by Devereux Golf. Submit proof of your achievement to johnniewalker.com/blue-in-1. Please drink responsibly.
Are you ready for some football? If not, Chubby's is ready to help you with their NFL collection. Whether you're tailgating, grilling, riding the highs and lows from the game from your couch, Chubby's has officially licensed NFL gear to keep you looking like an ultimate fanatic. Now, for me, I just really personally love Chubby's because they come in 3 different lengths, which are perfect for me. I like to show a lot of leg, and I'm not a super tall guy. So if I end up getting a small, they come out below my knees, and I look like I'm trying to be Eminem from the late 90s, which is not really the look that I'm going for here. And they have some bold designs for the NFL, but I like my monochromatic shorts when I'm going out. Show off some nice tan, some nice legs, and boom, we are looking good out there. For a limited time, use my exclusive code MAYO for $10 off at chubbyshorts.com/mayo. Yes, that includes the NFL collection. Let the thighs out and the good times roll. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Give online therapy a try at betterhelp.com/PatMayo and get on your way to being your best self. Sometimes we turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone's a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. I've turned to some weird places to solve my life's problems. Have you ever texted like a big buddy group chat? Yeah, that's probably not the best idea. What you need to do is actually talk to a quality therapist, and BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. It's also completely online. You can pause your subscription whenever you need to and switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/PatMayo. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/PatMayo. So is there anyone we like in this game for an over tackle prop?
I would absolutely love his teammate, Jack Sanborn. If they have the stones to post him, they have not had the stones to post Jack Sanborn yet. Sanborn, we would take over 8.5. I take plus money 9.5 on Sanborn. He's an absolute tackle monster. So, but I don't think they're going to put him in because I think they put Kenneth Murray in here because they think they're covering the Cowboys every down linebacker, which is not what they're doing currently. So
is there anything else in this game that you want to play? Because we dropped Kenneth Murray down to 7.5. He's plus 114 on that, and putting them together. Barkley under receiving, and watch the final play of the game be a Barkley catch to get him to 14 yards, and Kenneth Murray makes the tackle for his 8th tackle. You know that's going to happen.
We've been there for sure. The one other angle I like here is I like George Pickens' longest reception. 21.5, 22.5, I think is fine. There are actually some questions about the perimeter corner, opposite of Quinyon Mitchell here for the Eagles. I don't know if it's going to be Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, just a lot of question marks. And that's just kind of how Pickens wins. I think we think the game script works for them to take some shots. It's just kind of Pickens' MO. He was a longest reception print fest last year. Typically, even he started, 25 and a half later in the season. So I like Pickens to get a big one. Nice piece here, just takes one. I don't need volume. I don't need him to do anything except just kind of take in a long one. I like taking that to boost it up a little bit over 24 and a half, get the better payout.
Yeah, 24 and a half is plus 111. So now we got do we need the Barkley under? Or we just want to say, hey, Barkley over 90, whatever the hell he is, rushing yards. It's 96 and a half right now. If we go to SharpStack and look at those projections that you were talking about, he's projected for, I think he's the only guy for over 100 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't hate that too. Probably feels a little bit better, right? You're just banking on an all-time guy to be good like he always is.
We can find some other soft spots though. Like here's one thing that I saw A-Chain. Let's see if it's still the same right now. I'll have my full slate of props on the Saturday morning update show. But if you go to Devin A-Chain and listen, maybe he doesn't play. It looks like he is going to play. 3.5 first quarter receiving yards. Sometimes you can hit these first quarter props and they just do not make any sense with the overall projections for the game.
Yeah. Enough questions there just to see how he's going to be used. So probably active, but I don't know, seemed like a pretty solid Ollie Gordon preseason. There's talking about him just kind of stealing the goal line work anyway. So, just banking on, look, maybe there's just a dominant time of possession thing on the Colts side, right? And it's just, they go 3 and out and all of a sudden first quarter went by and really Miami only had 3 offensive snaps. Those things happen all the time. So I
brought that up to Jake Seeley and Ian Hurtitz on the ranking show, and they did remind me that Daniel Jones starts at quarterback for the Colts. So unlikely they're running a 17-play, 14-minute drive to open the game.
This is a fair point that I did not account for before I opened my mouth.
So do you like Barkley rushing over or just Hurts anytime touchdown?
Hurts anytime touchdown, probably.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. Like that was such a layup last year. It does hurt us. It drops us down from 9-1 to just over 7-1, but I like it better.
Yeah, that's it too, right? Sometimes just take the singles and the doubles. We don't have to go for the homer all the time.
We don't need to even have 3 people on this if we don't want to. We could just take Hurts off. I guess now we would need to find someone on the Eagles to actually go say, let's throw Hurts back on. Is that our favorite of the Eagles? Because I don't know what's going to happen with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
No, I like this play a lot. This is a fantastic slip, a great bankroll builder to start the season. Yeah, there's just more variance, right? Because they're so unpredictable, especially if they end up having to be run heavy, if they end up having to, get in the second half scenario where there's just so few passing opportunities that it just feels like you got a luck box into something on the A.J. Brown or Devonta Smith side.
All right, so this is going to be the official play of this show. All right, you ready?
Let's get it.
Kenneth Murray, lower than 7.5 adjusted tackles and assists. That pays 1.14. We got George Pickens, longest reception, higher than 24.5. That pays 1.11. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown, 0.86. So you're playing in the minus. That's about the equivalent of like minus 127, I think, which is better than the minus 130 number that we saw earlier anyway. $250 pays 1,767.
Let's get it.
Boom. Let's get in. Locked in. First game of the year. There's the play. If people want to follow it, that is, I'll put it out on Twitter, and boom, that'll be the one that we use for this game. I'll make sure to save that and send it to myself. Anything else that you want to say about this game? Like, there is one player I just didn't like his anytime touchdown odds was kind of the problem. So if we go to anytime touchdown for this is on Coolbet again, and you can kind of flick around anywhere. Kevontae Turpin touchdown. It's only 6-1 for an anytime touchdown. It feels way too low.
That's too low. Yeah, I mean, there's just so few touches, right? I mean, he's a gadget player for them. Is he getting red zone touchdown or touches? Like that's tricky. You need him to break a big one. Just a little too short for me to want to jump into that market.
Yeah, let's just do a quick look at what's going on here for all of the props. These are passing yard props. This is under the prop screen on SharpStack right now, and it has you can put in whatever book that you want and kind of go off that. There's also the arb screen. I know that people do you do the arbitrage?
I don't. It's just hard enough to get down the bet size on some of these books that are, like Bet365 is really tough, Hard Rock, Bet Rivers. So for it to make it worth your while, it's kind of tricky to be able to get bet size down. Now, with the way you have it set up here, I'll take a small little $13 profit betting both sides. So why not? I think Evan Ingram, that's a great little look. Why not? $13, $16.
Okay, it just went up because the
See?
over just went to plus 135 in real time as we're doing this.
Yeah.
So, like, if people want to know how to do this, basically, if you have a Bet365 account and a Hard Rock Bet account right now, if you want to play $100 on each side, because at Bet365 it's over 3.5 receptions at plus 135, and for whatever reason at Hard Rock it's under 3.5 receptions at plus 130. That's actually a huge different discrepancy between the same. They don't, I mean, that's why it's by far the best on the board. But if you bet $49.46 at Bet365 and then $50.54 at Hard Rock, you would net $16.23. Now, obviously, if you said that, hey, I want to bet $1,000 for each one of them, now you guarantee yourself $162. And there's a bunch of them on the board. If that's how you want to use this tool, I know a ton of people that grind these edges. Noonan, I'm too rich. I don't have the time.
I'm not rich, but I don't have the option to get down on all the books. But I think it's a great opportunity. Even that's surprising me, to be honest. Like that's even like $100 bet, like you said, like you're staking out $100. You're locking in $16 profit. That's fantastic. I think this is going to be something that I need to get in my routine of early in the week, looking at some of these soft openers. We found today, like this, when I was talking about this tool popping today and surprising us, Bet365 and Hard Rock were ones that were both like, man, they are so far off market on some of these bets. There's some pretty drastic opportunities out there for people to take advantage of.
Yeah, and like these will update in real time for you. 4for4.com/Mayo to get the free week and 25% off after you win your money. Lock in your free profit. So like right now, if you just played Evan Ingram props, you could lock in. I mean, hell, even if you just said, I want to lay down $500 on this, you could lock in $81 and it's legitimately risk-free unless somehow he gets a half reception somewhere.
Yeah. The only danger that I've seen people doing this is they kind of slow roll their arbitrage and they'll bet it on one side. If they think, steam will move it, they'll come back in the same book and bet the other. That's going to kill you on that book. They will definitely flag that. So this is different. We're not actually, double booking on the same book. We're just doing it in two different spots. So no one will even know.
Yeah, it's basically Bet365 is the off-market one right now, and their numbers just can. Like, since we've been talking the last minute about Evan Ingram, it's gone from plus 130 to plus 140.
Yeah, that's great. I'm gonna have to. I have a Hard Rock account that I opened up on a golf trip in Florida a couple years ago. I think it's. I think I'm pretty soft right now. I think I can get down on some stuff. So maybe I need to take advantage here.
Yeah, there's some Noah Brown ones for Sunday, and this is probably something you want to do early in the week. There's certain props you're just not, their books will not let you get that much money down. They'll let you get down probably, unless you've really beaten the crap out of them for a while, $50 and $50 at a time on each side. Yeah, this Noah Brown one, over 1.5 receptions is plus 115, under 1.5 receptions is plus 118. That's just taking advantage. Bet Rivers is the one that has the number that's slightly off brand there. But even if you invested $100, listen, you make $8.24. It doesn't sound great, but you can go do that right now if you have the tool in less than 10 seconds and guarantee yourself $8. And we're just going down this. You can guarantee yourself $17, $8, and then there's a bunch of 3s and 2s around the board. And there's going to be more that pop up the more that goes closer to kickoff of the actual season. That I think that this is kind of perfect for if you're really committed to becoming profitable this year. Putting this into your bag isn't a terrible idea.
We just did a show talking about how, these nickels and dimes add up over the course of the season. Like, yeah, do I want to go out of my way to do this for $16? It's not that much out of your way. You're literally just making 2 bets on 2 different platforms. You do that all the time anyway. So why not lock in a little bit of profit anywhere you can get it? We're talking about you're making sure you're shopping books, using the tool to get the best of the number. Like, we got to do anything that we can, to your point, like to be profitable or to not lose our ass. And, the little arb here and there is going to help. Let's get it down.
Yeah, that's something that we talked about a lot during that first show. People can go back and, I'll put the link in the description, but it's up on the pod feed right now. It's up on Mayo Media Network. Smash like to the channel while you're here. But we went through all of the different scenarios about how to actually bet and be not necessarily profitable, but not how to lose all your money in 2 weeks betting on the NFL. How can you be sustainable long-term? What should you be looking at? What tools should you be using? What sites should you be betting at? How do you take advantage of bonuses? What are the softest markets? And like, even to kind of go back to Sharp Stack for a second, and we go to the EV tool, you can take a look at like, what do we want to look at? You can take whatever book that you want to look at, bet types that we want to look at, and just kind of like, hey, I want to look at first half spreads. That's something that I want to be really into right now. And take a look at select all and try to find those. Second half spreads, second half. What else do we got here? Oh, we got a ton on the go. But you can see like Rattler touchdowns, Philly, Dallas second half. So here's one. A second half right now at Caesars, under 23.5 in the second half is even money. And that's actually positive EV. So like that's one thing that you can do just off the hop if you want to have somewhat of a positive bet. That doesn't mean it's going to win, but now you've already located the best number and a bet you just probably weren't thinking about at all.
Yeah, Pat, click on the plus on the side of that all the way over, and you can see it's plus 100. You made that same bet on FanDuel, it's minus 120, right?
Yeah, so you saved yourself 20 cents.
Correct.
Or let's say if you bet $100 at a time, you just saved yourself $20 in profit if you win.
Yeah, so you're leaving money on the table. It's it could be something that supplements from a top-down betting standpoint. It could be a checks and balances for things that you want to bet anyway. Like, does the tool like this? Am I getting the best price? These are just, again, little supplemental pieces that helps, just build profit over the season. We got to find it anywhere we can get it.
Yeah, and you can even see that just if you want to look at straight lines, whether it be totals, whether it be spreads, money lines, you can just go to the prop screen or the odds screen and just see where the best number is. Right now, the best number on Dallas is at Bet365 at +8, minus 105. It's minus 115, minus 110 at most places. Something called Sharp Book, which is that Pinnacle?
It's Pinnacle.
Okay, so Pinnacle has it has 1 cent less. But most places are 5-10 cents off. I mean, if again on $100 bet, that's $5, $10 that you're not winning simply because you didn't shop the best price.
Yeah, just silly to do. I mean, especially on sides and totals. If you are betting sides and totals with any sort of like just volume, or you're making 3-4 of those bets a week, you have to get the best price, right? You kind of know you're already swimming upstream to be 53-54% winner. You cannot be leaving money on the table. And really the thing there too is there's just not a problem getting down, right? Like, we can talk about limits on the prop side. Most books are going to be able to take most of your actions on sides and totals. So, those little, changes here and there, minus 395 here versus 4.25, that adds up. That's a pretty big deal over the course of the season.
I can't believe the best number on the market for the Browns is plus 210. Makes me sad. Really wanted that to be like 3-1, but they just no one's biting.
No, it's still interesting though. Connor made a case for it today too.
It's a pretty easy case to make, honestly.
It is an easy case to make. It is. I will give you that for sure.
And listen, if it goes tits up and they lose by 37 points, then like whatever, it happens.
Yeah.
But I think the Browns are far more alive in this game than they aren't.
Best time to get him. We know Cincy just continues to stumble out of the blocks. Home dog in the division. But in that case, like what's 5 points? Might as well just take him to win. So yeah, 2-1. Why not?
Yeah, just over 2-1 at ESPN bets plus 210. So that is the preview for the opening game of the season. Any final thoughts on the game? We kind of went over spread. We went over total, money line, the props, first touchdown. I just like Hurts. Last touchdown, I like Shipley, maybe Turpin. I did find an 8.5 to 1 on Turpin anytime touchdown. So maybe I'll end up getting sucked into that.
Yeah. No, just praying to the Lord that Jack Sanborn tackle number gets posted for me. Either that, it doesn't get posted and then he struggles, and then we get soft week 2 lines. For
what would be that number that you would want on Sanborn?
I have him at like 9.75. So
wow.
I don't think we would get anything higher than 8.5. So, and I would bet 8.5 pretty comfortably.
So that would end up becoming your best bet for the week if Sanborn gets released at like 7.5.
Absolutely. Empty the clip and hope the game goes as we expect. Yep.
All right. So we got the plays for you. Again, SharpStack is 4for4.com/Mayo. Get the free week trial. After you get that, code Mayo will get you 25% off. And it's not just football, it's all sports throughout the course of the entire season. And I recommend you get the annual. You're going to pay more money if you get it monthly. That's just like with any subscription, Noonan, that's just the way that it works.
Yeah, we want to make it easy for you. Like, your season can come in and out. You want to, maybe your fantasy season goes poorly and this is not something you always do. And then all of a sudden you want to week 5, week 6 start coming in on the betting side. we have it available for you to come in for a month. We have that for all of our subscriptions. So, but if this is something you can see yourself using, Pat's correct. Use that promo code Mayo, take advantage, get that 25% off, and just get in for the season. It's the lowest price.
All right. Well, that will do it for me. Enjoy opening night. Smash a like while you're here. Play in Survivor, for the love of God. We need to start filling this up. So you could really help us out by doing that, and sub to Mayo Media Network. And give me your score prediction down in the comment section. That would be very helpful. Okay? I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!